welcome guys to another episode of, let's get this audio about where it needs to be. Wrong Side Simulations, bringing you the best content from the wrong side of the airplane, the right seat. And as always, my name is Blake and I'm a real world dispatcher, aiming to bring you a little more context to your flight sim viewing experience. And today we have a special flight. I figured, you know what, I'm going to do something special for one of my top dogs, Mr. EQ, who I see is in the house. Welcome, my friend. I know we were chatting earlier and you knew the stream was coming, but I wanted to, well, you know, YouTube's telling me that my audio stream is too low. Anyways, we'll see what it does. Wanted to keep it a surprise for you. Didn't know what would be better for you, whether it be Chicago or if it would be Indy, but I figured, you know what? We've done some stuff out of Chicago before. Never done anything out of Indy, so I bought a little Indy scenery this morning, and we're going to do a little hop for you out of your hometown and take you down to the beautiful Gulf Coast of Pensacola, Florida, in the vicinity of Gulf Shores, which is my favorite place in the world. Also today we're going to be looking at a new bit of software called the SAM Ground Services XP. It's supposed to be very automated. It's supposed to load your passengers and your fuel and all that stuff automatically with somewhat realistic turn times and stuff like that. So we're going to look at that today as well. I'm just looking here to cross-check them. Try to keep it as immersive as possible and get that going. So, as you see, we'll have a little bus pull up, and it's going to start unloading these passengers so they can get on the airplane. And then we're going to jump on the plane as well and get going. First, we'll see what the passengers look like whenever. Okay, so they're just stationary. That is one thing that I guess Prepared has on X-Plane is GSX. You actually see passengers walk off the bus or walk down the jet bridge and onto the airplane, and watch them go into the cabin of the airplane, which is pretty neat. So let's go ahead and get things going. Let's see. Battery, ground power. Get those IRUs aligning. And we'll work our way down. I'm not sure how far. I'm trying to do everything from the right seat as if I'm looking up. And not so much like, you know, the cheating views that just look straight at the overhead. This will take a little bit of getting used to. Good. Auto there. We have the air conditioning card hooked up. Cruising out today is going to be 36,000 feet. So we're going to get that put in on the overhead. Sweet. Steady. Lights. They're coming down. We'll get the. So we want sim brief or do we want? Yeah, we'll just do sim brief. Alright, on the FMC, I did move the FMC over to left leg since that's where it would be for the first officer. So this way I can see the flight control a little bit. So that's going to take a little getting used to as well. I'm typing with my left hand. Alright, so on the sim brief, we're going to init our position. Indy route, Indy going down to Kpns. Flight number is AAL 8998. Runway out of there, departing off of 23 left on the Dawn 1, and transition is NYS. Back up to the route from there. NYS, we're going to go direct Nashville. Should be the top one. lat long, 3608. Yep, it's top. Cool. And then from Nashville we got views. See. And then CEW. That's cool. We'll go over to the arrival. And we are planning the RNAV to runway 35. Fancy transition. Looks good. Activate that. Man, y'all can't even see the damn. Wow. It's not very good plane on my end. It'll always be that way. Alright, after this, let's go to net routes. Let's put those IRSs. That's good. Let's see. So the airplane where we're at. Now, what I'm curious about, we do have the fuel that's planned, but I'm not sure if it loaded the payload. Looks like it did. Payload, 0 fuel weight. Oh, no, it didn't. 0 fuel weight's planned at 126.4. We've got 113.6. I don't know if that's okay. So it is going to keep going up as the passengers get on the airplane. That's pretty neat. But we're planning at 126.4. Not really sure what CG is going to be yet. Let's call it 20 for now. 22. Oh, that's gross weight. Take off. 141. This thing is lagging hard. Alright, our reserve fuel is going to be 3.5. Cost index 99. Cruising altitude 36,000. Cruise winds 266 at 51. And then temperature is minus 54. Let's go flex 55. Climb once a day gives us numbers done. I'm gonna wait until we drop in those V speeds until we're done boarding so I can have an accurate CG. I don't think it's gonna give us the correct CG until we're done boarding. Still boarding. Shows we've got 3.5 minutes left on the passengers, 1 minute left on the baggage, and 6 minutes left on the cargo. Fuel is finished. I'm not really sure as why it's still giving us that. We've already told the airplane. Alright, let's go ahead and get the APU on. We'll be ready to get out of here in about 3 minutes. And let's see, top altitude is assigned by ATC. We'll say 5,000. Now we're not going to be on Vatsim. I was planning on being on Vatsim, but today I installed a new hard drive and I moved my X-Plane folder over from the old one to the new one. And for whatever reason, Vatsim, like X-Plane Pilot, won't connect. So I'm going to have to troubleshoot that later. It says I've got CSL models missing and all kinds of stuff. So we'll get that figured out later on. Today we'll just cruise and chat. Let's see. Oh, I cheat on my views. I'm doing it. I'm buying it tonight. Probably the ERJ too. Man, go for it. You have to watch some YouTube videos on how to program that FMS, because the ERJ it's weird. It's got like a lot of Airbus in it, some Boeing. It's a hybrid, kind of weird airplane. I got a buddy of mine actually that flies that Republic, and I was chatting with him about the ERJ. He says it's just like any other airplane. Once you get used to it, you know, it's fine. But it is a weird airplane to learn at first. According to him, it is intuitive. But I don't think there's anything as intuitive as the Airbus. All right, so the APU's on. Let's get those APU gens on. That's good. Done fueling with the fuel pumps. Actually, yeah. Pack's going. Be weird not throwing on Vatsim. Not have to make any calls or anything. Just 17 seconds left on the boarding. And let's get our ATIS here in Indy. Current weather in Indy, winds are 290 at 11, 10 statute miles, roughly 4,100 feet. Temperature 6, dew point's -4, the altimeter is 3010. And 2 left and right during cruise. Actually, 2 left is closed. Actually, I guess we'll switch over to 2 right and be realistic. 3010 on the altimeter. Alright, passengers finished, baggage is finished, they're just working on the cargo. We'll be ready to get out of here. So we have an actual zero fuel weight of 120. On the number still changing. Shouldn't be changing because it's been on board. Oh wait, it's because of the cargo. Might do that last. We are pretty much ready to go. Just waiting on this last 45 seconds for the cargo. And as always, guys, please smash the like button. It definitely helps with the algorithm. And I'm curious that once this is done, are they going to automatically pull away, or am I going to have to do something? That would definitely break the immersion. We are flying the retro American Airlines 737 livery today. I think I am a bigger fan of their newer livery, but I do miss seeing this one every now and then, especially on the 7.5. It's quite sexy on the 7.5. Alright, loading is finished. And those doors closed, everything, so they automatically pull away. this. The doors are closed. We'll finish entering our final entries.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I would love to welcome you aboard our flight. When you find your seat, please be sure to place your larger carry-on items in the overhead bin and smaller items underneath the seat in front of you. Unless you're in the front row, please place all of your items in the overhead bin. If you have any trouble finding a location for your carry-on items, please let a flight attendant know and we would be happy to assist you. After you put your carry-on items in the overhead bin and it is full, make sure you close it as a courtesy to other passengers. Also be sure that the aisle is clear and sit down so that way other passengers can get by you. If you are seated in an emergency exit row, please review the exit seating responsibilities in the safety chart provided for you. Please make sure that you are able and willing to perform these actions. If you're not, please let a flight attendant know so that we can
Why does it keep adjusting?
You are free to use your portable electronic devices during the boarding process. We ask that larger electronic devices are stowed once you depart from the gate. Thank you and welcome aboard.
Right, 38, 39, and 43 are our V speeds. For the most part, everything's pulled away. Push back. Alright, here we go. Let's fire them up. Oops, this is loud. Rocket number 2. My damn number 2 button didn't say. Cabana, dude, your commuting coming to an end. Congratulations. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. It's like I'm selling my soul to the devil to do it, but really, either way, I think I'm pretty much my quality of life is going to degrade in some ways and improve in other ways, right? Like, yeah, I might not be commuting anymore, but I'll probably lose the shift that I love. And basically just be giving myself to the company to do whatever they want to with me. I don't know. But obviously I've got a lot to gain from it, but I feel like I've got a lot to lose as well. As far as like the shifts changing, you know, I thought maybe if I stay in Lauderdale to keep the shift that I want, although it costs me $1,000 more a month to do so. But either way, whether I stay in Lauderdale or in Orlando, the company's still going to change the shifts. So it's like I can either get screwed here or I can get screwed there.
We're ready to go when you are.
Alright, they are ready in the back. We're ready in the front. We've got a good start on one.
Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome aboard flight 8998 with service to Florida. Our flight time will be roughly 1 hour and 37 minutes. Please note the cabin door is now closed. We ask that you make sure that all devices are in airplane mode and your larger devices are now shut down and stowed. If you have not already, please fasten your seatbelt and verify it is low and tight across your lap. Your tray tables and seat backs must be in the full upright and locked position for departure. Cabin crew, secure doors for departure. Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the screen for an important safety demonstration. Thank you for flying with us.
Hello everyone. Thank you for your attention. It's time to get you ready for takeoff.
We're ready to go.
We know you have lots of choices, so thanks for choosing American. We're happy to be your airline. Now you'll just follow along with me. We'll be on our way.
Everybody, but it's not going to be good.
Welcome aboard. Before we depart, here are some important
joystick. Thrustmaster.
safety instructions. First things first, let's buckle those belts. Insert the metal end into the buckle and pull the strap to tight. To open, simply lift on the top of the buckle. And remember, seatbelt should be fastened whenever you're seated, just in case of unexpected turbulence. To get us on our way, make sure your seat is up, all electronic devices are put away, and your tray table is stowed. If you have a carry-on, push it all the way under the seat in front of you. If it won't fit, place it in the overhead bin.
Usually I commute to work.
If you have a handheld device, please switch it to airplane mode now.
Second location
You'll find
in Orlando,
our full electronic device policy in the back of your American
I can work in Orlando, but
electronic
there's just a whole bunch of contractual stuff going on between us and the company, and by me commuting, I'm going to be giving up my shift that I like, but that's probably going to happen either way because I think the company's going to restructure.
And before you know it, we'll be off.
You'll be fine. You got me to help you out. I've learned enough, and
all exits on this airplane are clearly marked.
Let's get that second camera on.
One. Keep in mind, it may be behind you.
So we're going 2-3 left.
All exits have evacuation slides
it's closing
to use
real
in
life.
an emergency. When directed to exit, jump onto the slide and move away from the airplane. Some slides may also be used as a raft, except those over the wings. You'll find the exact location on your safety card. This aircraft is designed with escape lighting on or near the floor. A sign will indicate you have reached your exit. In the event of an evacuation, escape path lighting will appear. Follow the lights until you've reached your exit. Leave all carry-ons behind. Just head quickly and safely to the nearest exit, and don't forget, it may be behind you. Now, if the airplane loses pressure, oxygen masks will drop automatically.
Just now getting
While
off the ground.
remaining seated with your seatbelt fastened, hold down on the mask to extend the tubing. The yellow cup goes over your nose and mouth like so, then slip the band over your head to secure the mask to your face. The band adjusts automatically. Normal breathing will start the flow of oxygen. And remember to always put your own mask on first before helping others.
Go down Romeo, which is what we're on now, then left on Charlie, Charlie 1. We'll be
either under or next
blasting
to your
out of
seat.
here.
To remove the vest, pull the tab or compartment handle to break the seal. For help locating them, see your safety card. Remove the vest from the package like this.
Flight controls check.
Put the vest
Pull up.
over your head.
Pull
Wrap
down
the strap
neutral.
around your waist. Attach
left.
the buckle and pull tight.
Pull right.
Once
Neutral.
outside,
Rudder.
pull the tab to inflate your vest
Pull
or
left.
blow into the red
Pull
tube on
right
the side.
and neutral. Flight
In
controls
the water,
check.
a light on your vest will illuminate. And please, only inflate your vest outside the airplane. Now, your seat cushion may be used as a flotation device. Just remove the lower cushion and put your arms through the straps found on the opposite side. The crew will now be coming around to do a final cabin check. After takeoff, we'll be back with more information. And if you need anything, don't hesitate to ask.
As guys, as always, please smash that like button. Definitely helps the algorithm. Helps get a little more exposure on this channel that I'm trying to get a little traction on. If you're new here, my name is Blake and I am a real-world flight dispatcher. Don't necessarily dispatch Boeings much, so I might seem a little scatterbrained on this airplane. Give me on an Airbus though and I'll look like a pro. Well, for me, honestly, there's not really so much a difference in the dispatching, other than obviously there's different aircraft systems and aircraft capabilities, stuff like that. But where the difference is for me is, being that I specialize in Airbus, I know the flows and the checklists and the briefings that we use at my company. Whereas since we don't fly Boeings, I don't have checklists and flows and all that kind of stuff. So I'm a little less like realistic, I guess, if we're trying to be ultra realistic in a Boeing compared to Airbus, just because I don't really have the flows. I just kind of go up and down the panel, whereas Airbus, I have specific flows. But we can talk a little bit more about that when we're around, because that's actually a pretty good question. All right, so we are ready to go. Lights, camera, action. And again, guys, I'm not on Vatsim this time, which feels really weird. Got some issues with the Vatsim client that I gotta get squared away. Alright, there's runway heading. Stand them up. Girlfriend's home. Yeah, I don't know why it always does that. We're definitely in a takeoff config. Thrust is set. Here's 80 knots.
80 knots. Rotate. Positive rate.
And gear up.
Gear up.
And the trim settings that the airplane tells you way off. There's some squirrely things with this airplane. Let's go heading mode.
400.
Back down here, let's go direct. Go back to hand flying. Yeah, it seems like every time I fly the level up with this Bravo throttle, the airplane does not like whatever's going on with it for some reason. Always gives me that little takeoff config alert, but it's obviously like glitchy. Flaps one. And flaps. Save it to our final since we're not on Vatsim today. 36. feel like it didn't draw. So going direct to Sneva. Why did it stop flying? Maybe it's the landing gear lever stopped once you moved it. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, so it was giving me like the gear alarm that it gives whenever your gear's not down. Except, like the gear was supposed to be down. We were taking off the runway, and it only does that if you're like flaps 15 or more and your gear's not down. That's what it's supposed to do. But that time we were in flaps 5, taking off. And when we went gear up, it's almost as if the airplane thought we were supposed to have the gear down. We weren't. So it's really weird. First time I've seen that one. Didn't get my full flight started.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have now passed 10,000 feet. You may now turn on your larger portable electronic devices. This is also a reminder to fast while you're seated, not congregate in the galley or near the lavatory. This aircraft is equipped with onboard Wi-Fi. You will be required to stay in small.
Leaving the farm fields of Indy.
We will offer complimentary flights.
Heading on down to Paradise, Pensacola, Florida.
The Wi-Fi, you'll be able to access our wide range of free licenses and safety libraries.
How many flights do I handle in a shift? Well, if company had their way, probably a lot more than what I actually do. But typically in my shift, being overnight, my shift is more on the turnover flight, heavy side of things. So I'll plan usually close to 30 flights, but I take a lot more flights that are planned and airborne from other dispatchers. I'm on the overnight around 11 o'clock and midnight. Most of the guys go home. So when I get there at 9:30, I'll take a turnover from one dispatcher. Usually that can be up to about 18 flights. Some of those are airborne, some of those are just planned, but they're not airborne yet. And then about an hour and a half later, I take 2 more turnovers. Those usually have a little bit less flights. Most of theirs have already landed. And then at midnight, I take 1 more turnover. Usually that one's around like 12 flights or so. And I will flight follow their flights as well as my flights and handle any issues that we got. But in total, I've gotten up to around, my highest that I've had so far is 82 flights that have come across my desk in one shift. FAA probably wouldn't be the happiest about that, but a lot of them are turnover flights, and there's a bunch of arguments that can be made both ways. But usually, if it gets to a point where I feel like I have too many flights and it's not safe, then I won't accept any further flights until a bunch of them land. But usually, I'm planning somewhat close to 30, whereas other shifts like the morning guys, they're dispatching about 40, 45 flights depending on what's going on. Afternoon guys are usually between 35 and 40, and then you got us overnighters. So it's quite a few. Every airline's a little bit different. I think some airlines even have contractual limits on how many flights the dispatchers can have. But for me, I'm building 30, and usually flight following, we're taking over roughly between 35 and 45 other flights. So, but as far as the difference between dispatching Airbus and Boeing, both airplanes are different, but same. They have different capabilities. For example, Boeing 737 has a ceiling of 41,000 feet, whereas we have 39,000. So it's really just kind of the differences in the aircraft. We obviously can't plan our Airbuses up to 41,000 feet because that exceeds our ceiling. Obviously, we are Cat 3 capable in an Airbus. I believe the 737 is as well, obviously. They may have different limitations than we do, like they might have a different crosswind component than we do, stuff like that. Obviously, like MELs and CDLs are different because they're two different aircraft, so there might be different stipulations on parts of the airplane that are deferred. Like we might be able to go, whereas Boeing may not be able to, different things. So really it's just the difference in the aircraft types as far as what their capabilities are. Also, like our performance may be better or worse than theirs, depending on if it's a 737-700 versus like our 319s and stuff like that. So performance is different, but most of like the aircraft stuff is automated and programmed into the software. For us, it's just a matter of clicking buttons and planning the flight. But it definitely does help to know your aircraft to an extent. A lot of dispatchers only know what's trained in like ground school and stuff like that, which would be just very general aircraft systems. But this is where I love flight simming, because being that I'm a flight simmer, I understand the airplane a little more in depth than some dispatchers do, and it does help me to understand the airplane a bit better, understand what we're capable of. When a captain calls me with an issue, it may be an issue that I know how to resolve, whereas another dispatcher may not, just because they don't know the pages of the McDo, stuff like that. Like if you tell a dispatcher to go to the init B page of the McDo, they may not know what you're talking about, whereas I do, as well as some other guys that I work with who dispatch or who flight sim. We know what that is. Really, for the most part, dispatching between different aircraft types it's pretty easy. It's all programmed into the software, but it does help to know your airplanes. I've got a friend of mine who just got signed off to be a dispatcher at Delta, and obviously Delta has a lot of different aircraft types, and he was saying it's pretty seamless going between Airbuses and Boeings, and I guess I don't have the MDs anymore. Yeah, I guess they're all Airbus and Boeing, ain't they? But anyways, they still have lots of different aircraft types, from 330s to 220s and all that kind of stuff, and it's all programmed into the software, and they're able to do it pretty seamlessly. Although Southwest, they have an entire day of a 3-day comp check, which is you're basically testing to become a solo dispatcher. Let me go to standard real quick. Standard. Southwest has a 3-day initial comp check, from what I understand, and one whole day of that is all aircraft systems, which is pretty crazy. They definitely want you to know the airplane, probably about as much as pilots. It does help to understand the airplane in emergency situations, which obviously, like the Airbus, we've got the green and the blue and yellow hydraulic systems. I think it's blue. But anyways, with the different aircraft types, you lose different capabilities, and like Boeing's whatever hydraulic system goes out, you might be able to land on a medium-sized runway, whereas on an Airbus, maybe we can't. So there are some scenarios where you definitely want to understand your airplane, but you got maintenance control in the room with you. If you have any questions about the airplane, maintenance control can definitely help you out. Chase, my friend, how's it going, buddy? I saw your message pop up, and I was in deep thought and conversation about dispatch. Hope you're having a great day. Welcome aboard. Good to see you, as always. 33 JM33, good afternoon. You don't have to answer this, but do you plan on staying at dispatcher or are you shooting to fly someday? So the initial plan was to fly. I was in the Air Force for a little while. I got out on a medical discharge, and I had service-connected disabilities. So the VA was going to send me to college and pay for my aviation degree outright. I was going to go to Louisiana Tech and get my professional aviation degree, and then go to the regionals, fly, and then go to a major. Well, as we were getting ready to pull the trigger on me going to school, the VA, well, actually the government changed the ATP, the Airline Transport Pilot Certification, to 1,500 hours, whereas before it was airline mandated. So the airline would decide how many hours of total time they wanted you to have, and if you met that, they would consider you for hire. But when the government changed it to 1,500, obviously now it's mandated that you have to have 1,500 hours of total time before you can even take your ATP. So because of that, the VA wanted me in the right seat of an airliner at a regional right out of college, and you only graduate college with about 300 to 325 total hours of flight time. Obviously, I would be 1,200 hours short. So once they found that out, they're like, yeah, we're not doing that. So the next best thing was dispatch, and they sent me to school, paid for my dispatch license, which is about $4,500, and it's about 5 weeks school. And from there, I went and got a job at Trans-States Airlines in St. Louis for a couple years, and now I'm at my current company. I will definitely stay a dispatcher. I'm sure I'll get my PPL one day, maybe commercial instrument, something like that. I don't want to be tied down to just flying on a VFR day. But I will say, dispatch is definitely the hidden gem of airline careers. It's absolutely a happy medium between flying and not flying. We get to speak the lingo, we get to coordinate with the pilots and do all this technical, savvy aviation stuff. We get to fly in the cockpit. We get to fly in the cockpit on any U.S. carrier, on any domestic flight. We get to fly international in the jump seat on our metal. So you get to see and be a part of all that, but at the same time, your head is the same pillow every night. You're not living out of a bag. You're not stuck on reserve for a while and having to go sit in a crash pad for 4 to 6 days, like a lot of the guys at my crash pad do. So you definitely, it's kind of that happy medium, and the quality of life is great. As of right now, I mean, it's always subject to change, but at my company we have unlimited shift swaps, so I can swap with like an opposite of mine and make my schedule whatever I want. Currently I'm doing 7 on, 7 off. Some guys do like 14 on, 14 off, 5 on, 5 off, whatever, that kind of stuff. So you kind of make your schedule whatever you want. It's in my opinion, it's by far the best. If you can't fly, it's the absolute next best thing that you can do, and it's a lot of fun. It's stressful sometimes. Work can get pretty hectic when you got 5 or 6 planes coming into an airport, and you got thunderstorms sitting on the field, and you got all these guys holding, and you're trying to coordinate with your shift coordinators on where you're going to divert the flights, because it looks like you're going to divert, trying to calculate burns and numbers and send amendments, and it gets a little wild. But at the same time, when everything works out, it's a hell of a lot of fun. Flight dispatch was my original backup. My stepmother is a dispatcher. Awesome. She told me about your channel, some awesome content. Oh, that's awesome. If you can share, you don't have to. But where does your mom dispatch? That's pretty sweet. And you don't, even as a dispatcher, you don't run into many dispatchers. I think I ran into one dispatcher on here, but I think part of that was because he knows one of my coworkers, and told him about my channel, and he popped in and that kind of stuff. But I don't really see too many dispatchers on the internet or like out and about, other than obviously at my work. Alright, cool. So we are at cruise. A little over 80 miles to Nashville. Oh, I know Debbie. Was she previously at FedEx? Because if so, I know exactly who you're talking about. Jay, I'm now in my car. You're gonna fly your car home. Now, what's one thing too? Whenever it took me a while getting the stream set up and going after changing the X-Plane file from my D drive over to my E drive and trying to get everything fixed. When I saw what time it was, what time I was going to be getting off, I was like, shoot, Jay's going to be getting off of work and he may not even be able to watch the stream that's dedicated to him. Yep, alright, that's exactly who I thought it was. Yep, I've met your mom. I've talked to her a few times. I haven't gotten to know her a whole lot yet since I worked the overnight shift. Usually getting off of work shortly before she comes into work. But so far, seems super nice. I'm excited to work with her. I'm kind of jelly though that she came from FedEx, because FedEx is a pretty awesome place. I have a good buddy of mine that's a FedEx captain. He's one of my mentors. Kind of helped me out getting me into the aviation industry. Met him whenever I was a ramper, working on the ramp in my hometown, and he's mentored me ever since. And I actually considered going to FedEx once. I know a FedEx dispatcher as well, and at the time, it just didn't seem that much better than where I'm at. The pay was a little bit better, schedule wasn't as good. I think that's the best thing in my company we have over other airlines is we've got heck of a schedule, and we can kind of make however we like, as long as we can find someone who wants to do the swaps with us. Jeff Cabana. Jeff is also a dispatcher at my company, which you know what my company is, but I try not to reveal where I work too much on here, just because you get people that he did it this way, so they must do it that way in real life. That's a violation. It's on sensitive security info as well. Nope, still here. Sweet. Hopefully you'll be able to stay on for most time, if not all. I guess it doesn't matter that we're not even on Vatsim anyway, because there's no Memphis Center was up, now they're gone, so we don't even have any controlled airspace to fly through. Is he based in Memphis? He is. He lives in Germantown, and he's an MD-11 captain. Super nice guy. He's a Louisianian like myself, and that's what spurred us talking. Was I was wearing an LSU ball cap, and he saw my hat. We got talking LSU football, and then told him I was about to ship out from the Air Force. I wanted to fly. He's like, hey, shoot me your number. I'll text you when I get back to Atlanta. Got to Atlanta, text me. I was like, yo, I want to mentor you, help you any way I can, get you into the industry. And I was like, oh yeah. At the time, he was flying for Pinnacle in Memphis. So I went up to Memphis and got to fly the CRJ simulator, which was a lot of fun. I didn't know hardly anything about airplanes compared as much as I know now. So I wish I had that opportunity again to see how well I could fly the airplane. Let's get the Lance pulled up. As always, guys, please smash that like button. It helps me out a lot. I'll even play a little like and subscribe notification. So I don't remember what like the whole AFSC number thing was, but I was a combat civil engineer based out of Barksdale Air Force Base with 307th Red Force Unit out there. Both of my shoulders, when I reach above my head, my shoulders sublux and dislocate. So being that I had a combat job, and it was a reoccurring injury, they weren't willing to do surgery to correct it, because I'd already done surgery once. And doing PT one day, shoulder shot out of socket, and they decided, oh, well, you can't stay. So they got me gone. Running the Air National Guard. It's 2A8 X-Ray 1. Comp Nav Avionics. Sweet. Heck yeah, man. When do you ship out? When do you go to basic? I can definitely give you a little insight on basic. That is a nightmare that I never want to relive. In fact, I've had dreams that I'm back in basic. Kind of excited for this approach. We're going to be doing the RNAV to runway 35. I don't really have no clue how to do an RNAV in 7.3. So we're going to give it our best shot. That's one thing that makes me nervous is new job opportunity might not let me coach my son's high school football team. Yeah, all that probably depends on, one, how much time you have to dedicate to that, two, what shift you get, which is going to be dictated by your seniority. Which most of the time, at least at my old company at Trans States, which is somewhat like Republic, like all the senior people wanted the night shift, which was kind of weird because senior people usually want the day shifts if they're off at normal time and can see their family and all that stuff. I always had the day shift. I got off at 1 in the afternoon, but obviously if I get off at 1, I have to be back at work early in the morning at around 3:30 at that company, or 3 a.m. So if you're having to be at work at 3, coaching your son's team till kind of late at night, might be tough. But usually you can find a way to do it. And like I said, I got a buddy of mine that flies at Republic. If he knows a dispatcher, maybe I can get him to put that dispatcher in touch with me and chat with that person and see how they structure their schedule and all that kind of stuff. More than likely, they probably do 4 on 3 off. I think most do, but maybe I can get in touch with somebody for you. So no idea. It's a mess right now. I still have to graduate, and then they might tell me, oh, okay, gotcha. I know the Marines, I don't think Air Force does this, or Air National Guard. Marines do this little program where after your junior year, when you're 17, you go to basic, and you come back, finish out your senior year, and then you go to tech school right after you graduate your senior year. Don't think Air Force does that, but you can look and see if that's a possibility. You say you still have to graduate, you're probably in your senior year this year, right? Navy boot camp is a piece of cake for me. You probably went into boot camp around the same time my dad was in Navy boot camp. Y'all roughly the same age. My dad always told me stories about how the, I don't know what y'all call in the Navy, like drill sergeant or whatnot. But my dad always told me stories of his drill sergeant would tell them to make it rain, and they had to do PT in the dorm to the point where it got so humid that they had like water droplets dripping off of the ceiling. So it was pretty miserable. Yeah, I graduate in May. Tech school will be right after basic. Gotcha. Yeah, that's how, I think that's pretty much how it is for everybody, for the most part, who goes right after high school. Yeah, I went to basic, or I went to tech school right after, and of course my recruiter lied straight through his teeth He's like, oh yeah, as soon as you graduate basic training, you'll come home for 20 days, and then you'll go to tech school, and then my girlfriend hurt herself. You go to tech school. Like, they told me all kinds of stuff that turned out to be completely false. I did get 20 days, but it was after tech school, not basic. Yep, making it rain, got that twice. Oof, that sounds terrible. We had similar stuff like that in the Air Force too. A lot of PT in the dorm. March 2001. Oh, okay. No, I think my dad went to him way before that. Jay, how old are you again? If you don't mind me asking. I think he told me once, but I think I got it way off. I got it way off. I don't know why it does that little jerky thing. Dang, you know what? Y'all know what we forgot? Ooh. And I thought about this too. So don't forget to turn on the live weather. I always forget to turn it on. Something I like about Microsoft Flight Simulator is I don't have to do that. Ah, okay. I don't know. Everything's trying to track back on the map. Yeah, Jay, I don't know. For some reason I thought 56, but your kid sounded too young. You 56. Some folks, I guess, are that age and have younger kids, but I don't know why I was thinking 56. How bad? Makes a lot more sense now. Just updated my account. Oh, okay. Well, Josh, nice to meet you. My name is Blake. I think your mom actually told me about you. So are you gonna stay enlisted the whole time? Do you ever want to like go commission, anything like that? My plan was to go enlist and use the post 9/11 GI Bill to pay for college. And once I completed my bachelor's degree and go commissioned, I would go commissioned and fly in the Air Force. Oh, dude. Jay, I know you got your hands full. Well, Josh, sounds like it runs in the family. You know what, too? One of my childhood friends, he's going avionics, or he is avionics in the Air Force. He graduated. He's been in for maybe a year at this point. He is avionics on 15 fighters. I don't know if it's 35 or 22. He's stationed up in Anchorage, Alaska, right where air base is up there. Here he is. So Josh, did you move down to South Florida with your mom? Going to handle avionics on the C-17. If I could fly in the Air Force, that's what I would fly. I don't think I can do fighters. Fighters, you're sitting there by yourself. Maybe you've got a weapons officer behind you at most, but I want to be able to get up, stretch my legs, have an oven, have a lab, have a coffee maker. Hopefully get a pilot slot. Yeah, that's usually the hardest part. I had a couple coworkers of mine in a couple coworkers of mine when I first started when I was a ramper back in my hometown of Monroe. Had a few coworkers who were going in the Air Force and going to fly, and it took them anywhere between like 6 months to a year and a half to get a slot. Still up in the Memphis area, being Murfreesboro at MTSU after basic on-the-job training. Nice. We were actually supposed to move up to that area. Yeah, they before COVID, a company was going to move our office up to Franklin, Tennessee, and then COVID happened and ruined that. And I knew it was too good to be true. I knew something was going to happen. Tennessee would have been freaking awesome. I love that. Fighters are cool, but there's a coffee maker in the C-17. Exactly. And I love coffee. Hillbilly Gypsy, what is going on, buddy? Good to see you. Welcome aboard once again. It's always great to see your name in the chat. Cabana, no, we are not there yet. We're over in Franklin, Tennessee right now. We just flew over Nashville. So we're about halfway there. What's our little overlay say? Time to go 43 minutes, 306 nautical miles. So Cabana, if you need to know, just look up. Josh Cabana, Jeff Cabana in the chat is our lovely dispatch troll. It's always a lot of fun to work with. Have you been down to South Florida since your mom started working with us? At least now you can have free trips to the beach. Not that South Florida beaches are compared to the Gulf Coast. Where's the afterburner button? A-Cars my cruise that as well. I've had cruise A-Cars that to me. I've never A-Cars them. I try to talk to them as little as possible. I've got time to do it. Round out. Josh, do you flight sim at all? Y'all can see what put the route in on full flight. You can see the route I'm curious about is how Crew and Pensy, which is our last two waypoints, how they line up with each other. And what we'll probably do once we hit views, which I can't remember what that is. Commander, do you remember what views is? Victor Uniform Zulu. I can look it up in the flight plan, but don't think they're right. We'll probably cut out press view and just go direct Pensy, and that'll line us up. Actually, that lines up 1-7, so we'll have to overfly the airport, turn back around and come back to 3-5. It says 1-7 is the best wind, which is what I would prefer. It's got ILS. So we're going to do 1-7. Change that. So we'll go direct Pensy. That'll put us on the ILS for 1-7. That'll work perfect. Also shorten the flight a little bit. Dude, no way. Hillbilly Gypsy. In fact, you know what? Sorry that the alert is so long. I didn't know how to trim down the sound. I'll be right back. In your honor, I found a 6-pack. It was the last 6-pack of Ranch Water Original. My favorite flavor of Ranch Water. Cheers to you, my friend. In the Discord, shoot me a message on a flight you would like to see, and we'll definitely do a flight in your honor. We'll dedicate one to you as well. If you want Microsoft Flight Sim, we'll do that. Next plane, tell me the route you want to see, what aircraft you want, and we'll do it. Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate you. That's awful kind of you. Let's see. Not yet. Flying down Easter though. Oh, sweet. I'm going to Louisiana for Easter. Bring your swimsuit. It'll be plenty warm. It's already in the 80s every day. Pushing 90 degrees. So bring your swimsuit and hit the beach. Go to Lauderdale Beach. They have a nice little boardwalk out there. Got some restaurants and stuff. Either that or what's the other one? Hollywood Boardwalk. It's pretty good. If you want to do something different with the beach, I highly recommend what's it called? Shark Valley Trail. It's a 17-mile paved trail out in the middle of Everglades, which you don't have to hike 17 miles by any means. But there's a ton of wildlife, hundreds of alligators, tons of them everywhere. Some of them are like laying on the path, which is kind of scary because you gotta walk like right around them. But all kinds of wildlife out there. It's a lot of fun. It's a great, different thing to do than just hit the beach like all the basic folks out in South Florida. And don't plan on meeting any like super nice people in South Florida either. They're not. They're all. It's like southern LA. They're all fake. My rudder pedals broke. I'm too cheap to get some new ones as of right now. And I hear that. And the price of everything flight sim is skyrocketed. I just got some new rotor pedals myself. I got the Thrustmaster TPR rotor pedal for freaking $600. I'm not happy about paying it, but I couldn't help it. Funniest APRs I've received. Vulcan. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate you remind me that. I didn't know that. I forget everything. God, funniest? I don't know. I've got some real funny stuff before. The other day, 2 days ago, I took over a flight from Lauderdale to Atlanta, and that big line of weather was just to the west of the airport. The winds were real gusty, gusting up to like 35 knots, sometimes reaching almost 40 knots. And the captain messaged me and said, "Hey, is anybody having issues getting into Atlanta?" So I pulled up the traffic. There were some Delta 737 900s that had gone around twice and diverted. But they were all four of them were 737 900s. Nothing else. No 800s, no Airbuses. It was really weird. But maybe it was a certain crosswind point with them. No. So anyways, told him what I saw. We kind of like coordinated a little game plan in case things go south. And then he takes off, and I noticed that the captain is a friend of mine. He says he's my crash pad. So when he got off the ground, I sent him a message, and I was like, "Hey, it's Blake, by the way. I took over your flight." And it was so funny. His demeanor went from like ultra professional pilot to like his next ACARS when he saw who had his flight now was, "Bro, it is windy in Atlanta." But he went from like prim and proper to like bro in a quick second. Actually at one point the winds were so gusty it was exceeding the crosswind component, and so we were talking where we're going to divert to, so we didn't want to leave the passenger stranded and all that kind of stuff. But I was monitoring tower frequency, and they were reporting wind gusts up to 30 knots, which is well within our component, so made him feel a lot better. And shot the approach and landed the first time, no problem. That's probably the most rewarding part of dispatch, is when you have like a real complex scenario unfold with weather, winds, and all this kind of stuff. And sometimes you have to get a little creative with your routes and this and that. It's so satisfying when everything actually works out the way that you hoped it would. Plane gets on the ground and all that good stuff. I'm not sure if that was. Yeah, no, you're right. Water, isn't that Wheeler Walker's brand? No, it is not Wheeler Walker. I don't think. I mean, should I? Let me Google who owns Ranch Water. But the Walker from Yellowstone is in the Ranch Water commercial. I swear, if it is Wheeler Walker, Lone River Bev. I gotta put in my birthday to look at this. Anyways, Lone River Beverage Company is owns them. Probably not gonna get you fired. It probably would. Josh, your stepmom has been well received in the office, by the way. She's been really great. Yes, and I will second that. The interactions I've had with her, as well as what other opinions I've heard of her from other people in the office, everybody really likes her. At this point, I'd probably say she's the most trusted manager in there. But you don't repeat that mistake. Stepmom will kill me. She'd kill you if y'all went on that little hike. That's a ton of fun. She's awesome, knows a lot, gave me tons of connections. Has helped me out a lot. It definitely helps when you work with vets. There's a lot of people with a lot of good connections there. Rub them the right way, always be down to help you out. Like my buddy, who's my mentor, Chad Harris. Also, I did an A-card for Captain asked if Kpns was my real last name or stage name. I feel like that's a legit question. That's funny. Must have been a long flight. Some of these guys get bored real quick and they get real chatty, and we're not supposed to like get too conversational in our A-cars conversations. In fact, it got to the point where if a pilot requests if he requests like what do you call it, a score on a game or something like that, we're not supposed to like indulge and tell them. It's kind of dumb. Like us and the pilots, you know, we're a team, and I'm kind of on the bus, and like I try to keep that teamwork mentality alive as much as possible. If the pilots call and want to dispute, or if they have, you know, they question something that I've done, or my thought process on something, like I'm down to talk it out, and we'll chat. And if they want more gas or something, I'm not going to combat them on that. You know, I'll tell them what I see, and if they still want the gas, then by all means. So I'd rather give the gas than this dude get combative and then like want to prove a point and start doing stuff in the flight, or like burn a little extra gas on purpose just to, so that he would look like he was the one that was right and not me, or something like that. So try to stay as much of a team with them as possible. That's probably the best one for the views. Man, that ortho is looking good. It totally overhauls X-Plane. So how are the sounds? Let me know if these. I can never tell what y'all hear versus like all I have to see is some little sound levels, and I feel like I don't know. Y'all just let me know how the sounds. If I need to turn me up, I can. If I need to turn up the airplane, y'all just let me know. Aviation Geek, my friend, how is it going? Good to see you. Welcome aboard. It's always great seeing your name in the chat. I think it's always cool, like you see a lot of these streamers, and they kind of have their like ride or dies, like their core guys have been around since day one. So it's always great whenever I see a lot of the same names coming to hang out. Maybe raise the mic a tad. Raj. Properties. Alright. That's plus 5 decibels. I've got the airplane at negative. Let's go negative 20 decibels, and I'm at plus 5. So let me know how that is. If I need to turn it up more, I can. You can have it where y'all can hear every single breath. Every breath I take. It's for y'all. How's the weather up there in Tennessee? Has it gotten a little chilly after those fronts passed through? You can definitely tell that we're like in the Chattanooga area. Actually, no, we're not. Oh my God, we're so far from it. We're in Birmingham. Crossing over Vulcan right now. Hence the bobbing and the weaving. Alright, so we're crossing Vulcan, so we're going to take out Crestview and fly straight to Pincy. Or we can take the scenic route and go direct to Mobile, drop down low, and head over to Dolphin Island, Fort Morgan, and just fly the coastline until we get to Pensacola and land. That would extend the flight by quite a bit, but the Alabama Gulf Coast is one of my favorite places in the world, and I'm kind of curious to see what it looks like with all this ortho. 61. Give me a whole METAR. There we go. 61 degrees. Altimeter is 3012. Super bumpy for flying, but it's beautiful. Nice. That actually reminds me, I need to start looking at the ATIS for Pensacola. Is there even one? Nope. I'm just going to pull up the weather. .180 at 7, 10 miles cleared, temps 24, dew point 9, altimeter 2998. I haven't spent a whole lot of time in Dolphin Island. There's not a whole lot there as far as like places to eat and stuff like that. I usually go to Gulf Shores, Orange Beach area, but there's been plenty of times that, like coming in from my hometown of Monroe, which is to the west, we'll come down to Dolphin Island through Mobile and then catch the ferry over to Fort Morgan just to have a little scenic way of getting there versus crossing Mobile Bay up north and then taking Highway 59 down. But yeah, I've been there, but I haven't spent a whole lot of time. Last year when we were in Fort Morgan, we were actually looking at maybe taking the ferry over to Dolphin Island to go get dinner or something like that, but we just couldn't find anything there. There's nothing but beach houses and like accommodations like that, but there's not really like much to do outside of just laying on the beach. Man, Josh, the beach vibes on the Gulf Coast, especially like the Florida Panhandle in Alabama, is oh my God, it's night and day better than South Florida. Like South Florida, everybody's like clicked up and they're in their own little groups and nobody's like socializing and making, you know, new friends and hanging out. Whereas if you've been to the Gulf Coast, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Everybody's like, it's like tailgating for a college football game. Everybody's playing beach games like can jam and cornhole and washers and drinking and like good music playing, and it's just, oh man, it's so much better. When you go to visit your mom, if y'all go to the beach, you'll see what I mean. Might want to check DM on Discord, Roger. I've got the audio stuff on Discord turned off. Okay. Hillbilly Gypsy, I can definitely do that. Houston Hobby to Tucson on Southwest. X-Plane 11. Wilco. We'll probably do that Monday. Are you going to be available Monday to watch? Ooh. What we got here? Well, I got some taters. I got some green beans. This is on behalf of Aviation Geek in the chat. But what kind of meat are we looking at? That looks like a carrot. Oh, that was like blowing out the microphone. But what kind of meat are we looking at? Some taters? No, that's not taters. Under there. Ooh, it does blow up. Okay. Ooh, yeah. Sexiest picture of meat than any guy's ever sent to me. Roast. I like me some roast now. My girlfriend makes this roast dish called ropa vieja, and it's made in a crock pot with a bunch of stuff. It's Hispanic, but it's really, really good. Damn green beans. I love green beans. I don't know about y'all, but I love green beans. Put a little Tony Chachere's on there, which is Louisiana seasoning. So good. My girlfriend and I are going out to eat tonight, but I don't know where we're going yet. I need to go ask her. Ask her where we're going and if she's paying. Alright, let's go direct to Pincy. Cut out Crestview. Less than 80 miles from top of descent. I have flown in Pensacola a couple times on Delta and 7.5. Ropa Viejas Cuban. Thank you for specifying, Cabana. I said Hispanic, which I feel like is an umbrella that covers Cuban. But for me, my favorite is Mexican. Just give me super simple. Give me chips and salsa, big ass margarita. Give me like that, like the lime margarita with the Corona in it, and then like beef burrito, like ground beef burrito with queso on top. I am happy as a pig and shit. I downloaded this livery today, and it comes with these little notes, but I don't even know what they say. If you had to write your cell call on a note, I don't think the FAA would like that. But this is kind of cool. I'm gonna just repeat the same note twice. You might get a divorce if you ask if she's paying. Well, she does have a gift card that she got from her boss to a very expensive fancy ass restaurant for $200 on the gift card, and asked if we could go there tonight just because got the gift card and I don't really feel like paying for anything. But she's like, I don't feel like getting that fancy tonight, so I don't know, maybe we'll go get Mexican. Go to Garibaldi, right down the road. Alright, Jay, what is this? Obviously it's fried. Well, what is that? But there's not enough detail to tell. But I love fried. Fried anything. So we were going to Crestview, and then Pincy would have been like a straight 90 degrees to the west and then south, and we're just going to go straight to Pincy. So we got a little remote FMS down here. And we're going to select, we're going to go flaps 40, I guess. And actually what we need to do, now I just thought about it, arrival ILS 17, Pincy transition onto the arrival, or onto the approach, legs, Pincy, cool, perfect. So now we've got our ILS frequency and our heading, course heading. We'll throw that in there, 169. We'll scroll for days. What is it, 169? 69 giggity. And then our frequency is 111.10. That's in there. Sweet. Alright, so let's brief up the approach. We'll go ahead and Dial this down, I believe. Yeah, we'll go down to 5,000 feet. And then we'll brief. Cool. Alrighty, let's get our charts pulled up. Alright, so we are planning the ILS runway 17. ILS frequency is 111.1. Final approach course is 169. We got both of those tuned up. Our final approach fix is Brent, 1,700 feet. And our decision height, we're going to go off AGL since it's precision approach, 200 feet off the ground. Touchdown zone elevation is 121. And that's going to be closer to 100 than 150. So we'll just leave him 100 on the overhead. If we go miss, we'll climb to 600, then climbing right turn to 3,000, and we'll just box it back around instead of flying this VOR stuff. Let's have a standard 3-degree glide slope, approach lights, PAPI on the left, and again, if we go miss, climb to 600, climbing right turn to 3,000, and we'll box it around and come back. To shoot this approach, we need 200-foot ceilings and half-mile viz. We've got that current weather in Pensacola. Winds are 180 at 7, 10 statute miles. Clear skies, temperatures 24, dew points 9, altimeters 2998. Once we land, actually we want the, oh, got the wrong thing selected. Charts, taxi, this. There we go. Alright, on runway 17, we have high intensity runway lights, centerline lights, approach lights, touchdown zone lights, PAPI on the left. Runway's grooved, and we got a 3-degree glide slope as we previously discussed. Off the glide slope, we got 6,002 feet of runway. It's 150 feet wide. And once we land, we'll want to make a left turn off. We'll plan to turn off at Alpha 5. We'll take Alpha cross 8 to Alpha 7 into the ramp. 5,000, everything is set. Cool. If y'all got any questions, put it in the chat. Other than that, no questions. Mathematics, we gotta check his 6. McDonald's drive-through. Tough times. Garlic Parmesan cheese chicken. Damn. Ooh. And it's not fried. It was baked. Man, I ain't gonna lie, that sounds pretty damn good. What other aircraft do you have for X-Plane? The only payware I have is 7.5. I've got the Flight Factor 7.5, the 7.6, the Flight Factor 320, the Tolus 319, Tolus 321, this Levelup 737, as well as the Zebo 7.3. After Monday, I've got recurrent training on Tuesday and Wednesday. After that, I have 7 days of work. Then I go back to Louisiana for 7 days, then back home for 7 days. So it'll be about 3 weeks after Monday that I get to stream again. So I'm planning on when I come back, probably going to buy the Rotate MD-11 that just came out. Although I know it's buggy, that's kind of why I want to give it that 3 weeks so they can hopefully get some updates out, get some stuff fixed on that, so it's not so buggy. And then we'll do some flying on the MD, as well as I think I'm gonna get the Tolus A340. I don't really do long haul stuff, but I've never flown a 340 before, and I think it'd be a lot of fun. And see if I can't apply my Airbus flows, checklists, and briefings to the 340 and see how that works. I'm going to do that whenever I get back from my trip home. I will say, when I do come home, or when I come back here and we go to stream, get ready for long days of streaming. Because I am going to, like, I get the flying itch really, really bad just on my weeks away when I'm at work. Much less a whole solid 3 weeks away from the sim. It's going to drive me nuts. I think Monday we're going to do Hillbillies Flight first, and after that, I don't know, but we're gonna stream all day Monday. We'll probably do a mix of Microsoft and X-Plane. Oh my gosh, you just reminded me I have recurrent next week. What a bummer. I mean, I don't know about you, Jeff. Mine are both on days off, so it's 2 days of overtime. And I don't have to drive to make money. Drive all the way to South Florida. And I'll probably get up early in the morning and go get some Chick-fil-A. Probably get 2 chicken biscuits, and 2 hash browns, and 2 frozen coffees. That's my typical recurrent meal. I think you should buy the A380. It's a good question. Do they even make 380 for X-Plane? Let's see. Airliners, Airbus, A380. Airbus A380 collection package, $60. Something seems weird about these. I'll have to do some research on this, because I've never seen anybody fly it, therefore it's probably not a good airplane. But we'll figure out if it is or not. If it is, we'll probably buy it at some point. Mine are 2 silver lining. Are you, is your recurrent on Tuesday and Wednesday of next week? If so, we're in the same class. So what we'll probably do one day is we'll do Dallas Love over to Pensacola, but yeah, we'll come down to Mobile and fly down to Dauphin, Fort Morgan, and just ride the coast, and then come into Pensacola. The little scenic tour. Or maybe we can go to Destin. I know there's some freeware for Destin. I think it might be Destin downtown though, not Eglin Valparaiso, how the hell you say that. We could come down, hit Dauphin, and then just cruise all the way down the coast and land in Destin. Alright, the altimeter in Pensacola, let's make sure nothing's changed. Updates, nope. It's going to be 2998. Cool. So now we're below standard. Oh man, I forgot to turn the seatbelt sign off for our passengers. Oh, it's an auto, so maybe that helped. Yeesh. I did purchase X camera, but I still have to learn it. I can't figure out how to like bind different views to the same key and how to like get, I don't know. I got a lot to learn to do with the X camera. Once we get it though, we'll probably be able to get some better cinematic views and stuff for you guys. So Chase, recurrent training is for dispatchers. We just kind of go back over and recover some hot topics. So for example, if we're getting ready to go into summertime weather like we are doing now, we have two days of recurrent going into summertime and then 2 days of recurrent going into wintertime. So we'll talk about stuff that pertains to whichever season of weather we're going into. Also, it's a good time too to, like, if there's been some different developments, or say like we're going to be taking on a new exemption. An exemption could be like we have exemption 18504, which allows us to depart without an alternate if it meets certain criteria, whereas usually you would need an alternate. So if like we have something new that's coming along in our op specs, it's a good time for us to talk about it and learn and ask questions with the instructor. And we just recover a bunch of stuff that we cover every year, like hazmat and different procedures and FARs and policy and stuff like that. On a pilot side of recurrent, for them it's going to be going back over stuff like unusual attitude recovery, or flying the loft flight, which would be like a flight to a special use airport, like super short runway, stuff like that. In fact, I think V1 Simulations did a really good flight for his, like he did a sim flight of his loft flight that he was doing the next day. Yeah, it's just basically retraining, just to stay fresh on different things, whatever the airline wants to cover. Sometimes stuff changes or is added at the airline, and they want to, bring everybody up to speed on it. Some airlines do recurrent once a year. So like at my last company, we did 4 days of training. All 4 days were back to back, one time a year. And then at my current company, we do biannual recurrent training. So 2 days at the beginning of the year and 2 days towards the end of the year. Oh man, Thursday and Friday. Shoot, I'm not going to be able to have you in my class trolling. Slow the airplane down. Throw out them boards. And maybe not. I don't know why the lever does some weird. What the hell? So on the ground, my lever was reversed, and so then I went and unreversed it, and now it's back to reversed. Boing. Reverse. Super annoying. Alright, get that back on. There we go. Now it's working.
Florida. Flight attendants will be passing through the cabin to collect any trash one final time. Please ensure tray tables are stowed in case they're in the full upright position. Please also store any carry-on items either in the seat back pocket or under the seat in front of you. Please complete all Wi-Fi related tasks and stow any larger electronics.
Then we'll go auto brake 1. Bada boom, bada bing. That trim wheel sound made me think there's something wrong with my car. That's funny. The next thing you know, like, master caution alarm starts going off, and you think your car's like about to explode or something. So the airport should be right out in that direction. Chase, my friend, welcome back. We're still doing good. We are on our initial final, I guess you could say. We're at 7,000 feet, getting ready to join the ILS runway 17 in Pensacola. I don't know if y'all noticed or not, because it's only like 20 seconds long, but whenever Hillbilly donated to the channel, the alert sound that I set was a 737 autopilot disconnect alarm. And at first it scared the hell out of me, because I thought my airplane's autopilot disconnected. So it's probably best that that alarm sounds when I'm flying an Airbus, because then I'll be able to know that it's not the airplane. Alright, I think there's something I can do with this thing in the background. Where is it? There we go. Arrival, Pensacola, runway 17. Guess we'll say gate 10. Cool. So I don't know what this is going to do. Maybe it'll have some trucks and stuff waiting on us. Let's keep it coming down. Let's go 3,000. And where's my charts? Brent needs to be 1,700 feet. Alright, we'll go flaps 1. I think I hit the wrong button. Yep. Unprogrammed that view. Which all it is straight across. Alt 4. Alright, 16-mile final. Let's see how hard I can smash this one. Put your, what did I do? I missed it. No, I'll say whenever you donated to the channel, my alarm for donations is the 737 autopilot disconnect alarm. And so when you donated, it scared the shit out of me, because I thought my airplane was messing up. I'm going to do 2,000 level off there so we can let the glide slope catch up with us. 1,000 to go. Then we'll go flaps 5. I'm going to switch back over to 4-flight. Those flaps coming down. Flaps 15. We might get the gear horn. No, good. And let's go arm the approach. Loke's captured. We got autopilot 1 and 2, or A and B, whatever Boeing does. Negative 20 FPS. Shoot. Trying my best. AvGeek says negative 160. That's probably a little more realistic. Wow. Like, why is it now that it doesn't like it? Whatever. Gear down. We're on an 8-mile final.
Gear down, 3.
See, that makes no sense. The airplane shouldn't have a hard nose up as soon as autopilot comes off. That's kind of dumb. Alright, our VREF is 135. This is going to screw me up. Alright. Alright, there's 1,000 feet and we are stable on the ILS. Drifting a little bit left. Crossing over I-10. Driven over that spot a few times.
500.
The ILS is a little off. Says that we're high, but I feel like we look pretty good on profile.
400. 300. 200. 100. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Oh my god, really? That's absolutely terrible. Why is there no engine sound?
80 knots.
Well, that's embarrassing.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Florida. The local time
Florida.
is 5:16 p.m. and it's currently about 75 degrees Fahrenheit. You can now use your mobile devices. Please remain seated until the aircraft has come to a complete stop and the seatbelt sign is turned off. Remember to use caution when opening the overhead bin, as items may have shifted during the flight. If this is your final destination, we thank you for flying with us. If you're making a connection, we encourage you to check your itinerary to ensure a smooth continuation of the journey.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I feel like I get real focused on trying to get flare and stuff just right, and I don't know, overthink the approach. I was thinking like, all right, we're gonna dip below the glide slope, compensate for the flare, but definitely just let that one. I didn't flare quite enough, and I think I idled a little too early. Nope, not what I want. Man, that was terrible. Gah, I want that one back. And that's what maintenance is for. Yeah, it's no joke. Gotta call maintenance. Let them know to come do a gear inspection. Should we take off real quick and like fly the circuit real fast and just try that one again? If y'all want to, I'm down. Zebo is 100% better. Honestly, the only reason that I come to the level up is I like the sounds, but for some reason I'm not really sure why I'm not hearing much on the engines. I'll probably have to go adjust it in the EFB. Don't blame yourself. The plane flight model is mainly to blame. Yep, that's a good point. Maybe next flight we'll try the Zebo and see if the physics are better on that one. All right, we're gonna go for it. We're just gonna do everything pretty much manual. Get configured. And nah, we'll just do everything visual. Bring it back to the basics. .8 on the gas. Yeah, we got the gas for it. Cool. 69, 32. Cool. They did a great job with the sounds and visuals, but lacked the flight model. But everything is fixable. True. And I downloaded this not too terribly long ago, but maybe they've updated it since. Audio. Engine volume. Like on the flight attendants, that's about right. The crosswind is always the crosswind's fault. I like that. Alright.
Knots. Positive rate. Gear up. 400. $1,000.
Bank angle. Bank angle.
Alright, let's see if we can just do this manually without putting anything into the McDo, no fixes, no nothing. We're just gonna know our directions. So if the runway heading on the landing south is 170-ish, then we want to be 350 on the upwind. Start bringing it down, so I want to fly all the way out there.
$2,500.
Nope. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Only the right engine fire throttled up. That was weird. Not sure where we're at on the glide slope. I'll try to hold it here at around 1,700 feet. There we go, there's the glide slope. Now we just need to get on the loke. There's the runway.
Gear down, 3 greens.
$1,000.
bit of a quartering crosswind from the right side. Let that drift me right back over, I hope.
500. 400. 300. 200. 100. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
There we go, that's a little better. We redeemed ourselves.
80 knots.
But I feel like I usually do, if I'm just like messing around and just doing like a little free flying, not trying to be ultra perfect, just flying the airplane, I usually do better than being like all ultra whatever. Our passengers are probably, what the f. We took off and came right back. That kind of stressed me out a little bit. Well, anyways, welcome to Pensacola for the second time today. Not really sure where gate 10 is. See if we can find it. Because I selected it on the SAM ground services, but nothing really looks any different anywhere else. Oh well. I'm just gonna pull straight in. All right. I don't think that this is going to connect. Okay, let's see what Volantis says. Negative 524 on the first one. It doesn't show the second. Actually, it does if you zoom in on the map. So the first one was negative 525, and as you can tell, we definitely floated to get that smoother rate. This one says negative 184. Whatever. And then PAX says negative 170, so it's tracking the second one. Unsafe takeoff, which is it always says. Slightly ahead of schedule, unsafe landing, always says that anyways. Extreme flying conditions, that's because we overbanked by like 3 degrees. Whatever. Well, I guess that just leaves us for a nice little replay. Oh man, the door's open. I hate when it does that. And we'll get rid of my face so y'all can enjoy the replay. And it's got the cargo doors open too. Probably that Sam thing was doing it. Sorry, Pastor's got to do some checks on the airplane. We'll land in about 15 minutes. That's right. FO is earning his captain stripes today. Oof. I don't know if that's earning anything. Let me just plop it right back down. That's a true American Airlines landing right there. That's all that is. Funny thing is, I've landing and took off from Pensacola in real life, never flown into or out of Indy. Oh, that's funny. Especially since you live there. So AvGeek, I will be streaming all day on Monday, so you won't have to wait 3 weeks from today anyways. After that, it will be a sad goodbye. Bam! Ugh, that wing flex. Oof. That little downslope in the runway doesn't help either. I wonder if I can close those. Nope, they don't do nothing. Dang.
2.
That is a pretty airplane though. Just make sure the wing spar was still strong, that's right. Alright, let's go to the second one. Ooh, that's good. Good timing. Oh, that's just taking off. Never mind. So Cabana, whenever we parked, the automation took over and opened all the doors to start deplaning, and in the replay you can't go back and shut them, so they're open. Takeoff looks like a damn pro though. And I'll start cranking it in overbank. Try to. I'm surprised Chris hasn't come in here and start yelling at me yet. It's already 6:40. Labs were full and passengers had to use the bathroom. Stowaways also had to jump out before getting caught. Oh, that was a float. Floaty, floaty. Alright guys, we'll get one last replay in and then that's going to be it for the night. My dog's whining, wanting to come in here. Well, I hope everybody has a great night. And again, I'll see y'all on Monday. We're going to start with, let's see, where'd it go? Yeah, we're going to start with Houston Hobby over to Tucson at Southwest. And then we'll just ride the Thunder after that. Probably jump into Microsoft Flight Simulator, take a look at the new VNav that they have, see how that works. Hopefully it's halfway decent. Got some curiosities with that. See if the prog page works, see if it shows its vertical deviation, all that good stuff. But as always, you guys, thank y'all so much for coming by and hanging out with me tonight. It's been a great night. It was a fun flight. And I guess we'll see y'all on the next one. Again, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know whenever I'm going to go live. And I guess we'll see y'all on the next one. Y'all have a good night.